Webinar started and whoops. Okay. Take us away, Vern.
You have intro music, Vern?
No intro music tonight, no. Hello, everybody. Come on in, come on. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Looks like we're gonna have a full house tonight. Good to see so many familiar names. Love it when you guys come out. Good evening. My name is Vern Coot Bird, as most of you know. And to you new people coming on, I'm going to be your MC for the evening. So we're going to share some really good information and some brand new information as well. You're going to enjoy what we're showing tonight. And we've got a very, very good special guest coming up. Is there, at what point, what's the next slide, Keith? Just for a second here, just so I can know where we're leading to on this one. Good to see so many faces are still coming in. A little bit about who we are. We are the largest and we are the only free real estate investment club here in the province. We're a group of like-minded individuals. We're investors of all different types, whether it's single family home or multi. We'll be talking about all of that stuff. We have all of the service providers that you will need to do this business from writing the offers, looking at properties, right to the get-go of selling the property or letting it go. Those of you that want to learn, we have tonight with us many specialists, experts in the local market here. So you're going to enjoy that. The Tmr Academy, we have over 150 students. We are a national company right across Canada, and we're into United States. And we have people joining us from several parts of the country tonight, Canada and United States. We are also doing business with companies nationwide. We have US partners and coaches. Myself, I'm an international real estate investor and coach and mentor, both sides of the border. And what's coming next, Keith? Sorry. Okay. This is more kind of a detailed list of what it is we do. We have free monthly events as well. Now we're doing Tuesday coaching calls every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Every Saturday, 10:30, we're doing coaching training with our protégés, our students. We run workshops. Once every month to 2 months, we'll do a workshop on specific topics, especially about controlling real estate. We do bus tours to show you projects in motion already or properties that are for sale, whether they be on the open market or privately. We help you find your power team and develop your power team. We teach you about joint ventures, networking with people of a like mind. Everybody here in Winnipeg knows who we are. We're connected to everybody. We are always looking for and helping our students, our protégés, find the money, the funds that they will need for their deals. We help you find the deals and to arrange everything that you need. Our academy is like a post-secondary education. We have programs like a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and the PhD that we're going to be talking about. We assure you, you get your first deals done with us, but we don't stop there. We keep working with you. We're not a catch and release program. We stay with you. All of us are right here and available. You can reach out and talk to any of us in person, text, email. Under COVID protocols, we do stuff in person as well. There's no annual fee. You get a one-on-one mentorship and sometimes two-on-one field training, anything you need to do in the field with regards to looking at property, pricing them, figuring out maximum allowable offers. We do all of that with you and for you. We have all of our trainings on video, audio. Basically, when people join our academy, it's like a family situation. It's a community. And many people who are interested in learning more about the business, join us just to be a part of that community. Even active real estate investors join us because they like what our community is doing. They like what we are doing. And we'll be going into the brochure, talking to you about setting up a strategy session with any one of our coaches. We can do that with you. You'll be getting their information later in the program, and shows you all of the different topics, whether you want to learn to buy, fix, sell, or buy and hold and rent it out, or buy, fix, refinance, rent out, put a tenant in, and then repeat the whole process. Rent to own, financing, joint ventures, negotiation, anything like that. Let us know what it is you'd like to know, and one of us will sit down with you and go through that in the strategy session. Take 30, 40 minutes, okay? Why do we do the deal done assurance, okay? It seems to us through our experience that once you get that first deal under your belt, now you get a taste of it. And now you can really pay attention to your advisors. You start applying the knowledge that we have given to you academically, and we show you how to apply it in the field when you're looking at properties and pricing them. You tap into our experience. The coaches you see here, myself, over 50 years experience, and our guest speaker tonight will be sharing with you the number of years he has in experience. Our tech support, Keith Gordon's got 11 to 12 years. My partner, business partner, Vishal Guliani's got 11 to 12 years as well. So you're looking at a couple of 100 years of experience right here on this call tonight. And that's what you're going to hear from. We help you with your confidence level. When you get the proper training, like this young lady here, she didn't just walk out there and pick up that looks like about 300 pounds. She trained for it. She studied for it. She practiced. And that's what we do. We teach you the academics, and then we show you how to apply it in the field. Previous to this, your thoughts have limited your abilities to succeed in a lot of the things that you do. Your emotions limit you. Your relationships limit you. But when you're paying attention to all those aspects of your life and giving it the due respect it needs, and you're healthy and balanced in all of your life, just like this weightlifter is balanced, then everything can flow. It lines up. So don't be thinking that you can't do that. What we're going to teach you is how to design the lifestyle you want, what you want in your future. We're going to show you how to see it. We're going to speak to the eventuality of the lifestyle that you design. And we're going to help you begin to design that right now. We're going to show you how to make that lifestyle happen for you. This is just a little blurb about myself here. That's my gorgeous wife there in the white. And she's sitting beside me over here and standing beside me over there. My wife and I are very, very blessed. We're marathon runners. That's us coming to the finish line in the Rock and Roll Marathon Series, November 12th, 2017. We're at mile 4. We pulled into the run-through chapel, got married, and finished that marathon as husband and wife. And some musician friends that we hang out with, about 100 recording artists here in Winnipeg. One of our poets wrote a ballad about us. It's very, very nice. We're living a very blessed life. So thank you, Keith. That's enough about me. But that's why I do what I do. I'm just going to do some quick shout outs. We've got Daryl Walsh online with us right now. Should I introduce Daryl now and let him speak now, and I'll come back to this?
No, I was going to say, just go ahead and go through the rest of the sponsors, and then Daryl will be up right after this.
Okay. Thank you. So Daryl Walsh from LePage, been one of our sponsors for years now. Very knowledgeable in real estate, is going to give us a monthly update and report. Brendan Mahatu with Levine Tadman Gullub Law Corporation. A very, very professional lawyer. Educated himself to be a real estate lawyer. Very liberal with his advice, very helpful to our team. Jas Sani from J. Sani Chartered Accountants at Chambers Fraser. Very helpful whenever you need any advice on anything, give him a call. Ray Penner, man, he takes great pictures. I've used his pictures as some of my headshots in some of the movies that I've applied for. I'm also an actor. Christian Narcisco from Visual Media, another great sponsor, been with us a long time. Garrett Wong. Garrett will be on a little later. I believe he sent us a video tonight to play for you regarding property management. Alvin Bali, Caesar Stone Canada, and Dulux Paints by PPG, one of our sponsors, and a great place to buy paints. And they extend us a nice discount to our members. The Entrepreneurs Entrepreneurs Society International, one of the largest groups on Facebook, entrepreneurs from all over the world, one of our sponsors. Michael Reimer, one of our new coaches, as well as his partner, Corey Flaming with Vulcan Construction. And these, just a big shout out to our sponsors. All of our meetings are free, as I said in the beginning. However, this is why. These sponsors cover the costs of us developing this for you all.
And Michael Reimer will of Vulcan Construction will be our guest speaker for the meeting March 29th. Beautiful.
Thank you for putting that in there. Great. Okay. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend, Mr. Daryl Walsh, for the monthly update on the Realtors Report. Take it away, Daryl.
Thank you very much, Vern, for that lovely introduction. Good evening, everybody. My name is Daryl Walsh. I am a licensed real estate agent here with Royal LePage in Winnipeg. I do residential as well as commercial. As an individual, I own a few properties. I've developed a couple of sixplexes, so I know the pitfalls, always learning more about development and investing in real estate. So I'm with a lot of you. I'm in the trenches. Here is a snapshot of our current markets. This is all markets, including now we've got rural municipalities. So this is the average sale price in the certain areas of the city. This is important for you as a purchaser, if you're buying properties in the north, the south, the east, or the west, to know the average price, because the goal is for you to get these things 50 to 60% on the dollar. You don't want to be paying the average price. You want to get it much lower than that. Otherwise, your numbers aren't going to work very well. Next slide, please. So this is a snapshot of our detached, attached, and condominiums. We can see from the numbers. I could read everything on the slide to you, but I'll go very briefly. Detached houses are single family detached. They could be bungalows, they could be 2 stories, and everywhere in between. Active listings, this is for the month of January. We're not current in February because we just ended it. So the stats will come out in a couple of days. 917 active listings in the month, and we did 617 sales with an average sale price of $352,000. Attached houses are going to be side-by-sides, townhouses, and properties like that. Significantly less active listings, 121, 76 sales with average sale price. And then our condominiums, we have a ton of condominiums out there. So there's opportunities for people to buy condominiums, turn a profit if you're doing the buy and hold strategy. Next slide, please. So our residential detached properties, this gives us an average price, tells us $352,185 with an average square foot. Again, it's important to know this historically. We want to look at the previous data. So on the next slide, this is going to show us what our average price was for the same time, January 2020 to January 2021. A significant increase in price. And if we go, so just look at those numbers for a second. The square footage is almost the same. Just a little bit longer, but our product is selling a lot faster. The next slide, I'm going to show you how to determine the price increase plus a percentage increase. So we take our 2020 price of $310,422. For people that like to know a little bit of math formula, this is not rocket science. I think this was taught to us in like grade 8 or grade 7, how to come up with a price increase, percentage increase. We take the difference of $352,185 from this year, subtract the $310,422 from last year, gives us a total difference of $41,752. And if we divide that $41,752 divided by last year's price of $310,000, gives us a percentage of decimal 13449. You have to times it by 100 to give you the percentage increase of 13.45%. So any of you that's holding properties, what do you think about a 13.5% increase in 1 year? Is that a good thing? Heck yes. Keith's in the background cheering. He's muted himself. Thank you for that. Okay, so next slide. So here's our residential attached properties. And this is current January 2021 price and square footage. And if we go to the next slide, I've condensed this a little bit quicker so we can get through this. We've got last year's sale price of $268,096 compared to this year's price. We had an increase of 3.3%. On an average year, that is still a great return on your investment, especially if you've got tenants paying that mortgage down. That's one of the key factors on building wealth in real estate. Put a tenant in there, get them to pay the mortgage down. You're getting a 3.3% increase. If we want to go into the rule of 72, we can talk about that a little bit later. Next slide. We're looking at condos. Average price per condo, average square footage. The next slide is going to do the same as what our last slide does. This year's price compared to last year's price. Now, condos have been probably the less desirable place to be just because there is such an abundance of condos out there. But we did get an increase from last year of 3.28%, which is still a great number times 10 years. I mean, you guys are getting a 30% increase on your property, mortgage pay down on that property, passive income on that property. Those numbers are going to make you, I don't want to say wealthy, but they're going to take care of you. You may be able to live a life of leisure. Like our friend Valen, our president Valen, he has a very nice lifestyle. You can travel and work maybe 4 months out, travel 4 months out of the year, work the other 8 months out of the year, enjoy your life to the fullest. Okay, next slide. This is our home sales report, January 2021. We're looking at volume, where the big spike there is, sales volume over last year, 20.7%. Dollar volume, I should say, not active listing volume. Average price increase is 13.5%. I think I broke that down in a previous slide. Average square footage, it's a little bit larger than what it was before. And new listings, look at that number. 21.2% down compared to last year. So for me to analyze the market, for people that are looking to find deals on the MLS, they're out there, but almost every property that's currently on the market, they will have a showing start date and a bidding date. And even the dogs out there are getting multiple offers. Most recently, I just sold a property. We had 17 offers on it. We listed it for $440,000. It sold for $492,600, a substantial amount over. The point of that is there's not a lot of product out there on the MLS, but some of your coaches will teach you and tell you how you're going to find products off market by doing your campaigns. I think we've got one more slide. No, that is it. There we go. That's an old slide. I don't know how you got that one in there.
I stole that one from your previous one, Daryl, because you gave me no cartoons in this one.
Well, I thought I'd be a little bit more professional in this one, but yes, that was us saying to hell with 2020 and COVID. Happy 2021. Get out there and crush it, everybody. I appreciate your time. If anybody has any questions, would like any of this information, you can reach me at Daryl Walsh at royallepage.ca, and I would be glad to share any of that information with you.
Thank you very much, Daryl.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Okay, so Brendan Mahatu, our legal sponsor and legal expert, developer of all the contracts, ran out of time today. So he was to provide a legal update video, but unfortunately he did not. I did want to take the moment though to give him a plug. There is his contact information, both himself and his assistant Pam, very nice lady. And I just want to say what a great individual he is and how pleased we are to have him here with Teammate. And now over to Garrett Wong, our property management sponsor, for the property management update.
Hi, my name's Garrett Wong. Welcome to my new series, So You Want to Own a Rental Property? Let's start with who am I? I'm an investor. I've been investing in Winnipeg since 1999. At one point in time, I owned and operated 75 doors in 43 buildings. Now that was made up of single family, duplexes, and triplexes. I was also a realtor with Century 21, and I'm also the owner of a property management company that's been in business since 1999. We manage hundreds of properties for investors around the world. So why am I doing this series? Well, I want to give back. Most business people are afraid to give out the secret sauce. My goal is to create informed investors, more knowledgeable industry, maybe better educated investors. This has no gimmicks, no upsells. I have no system that I'm selling you. This is just common sense property rental investment techniques that I wish someone would have shown me and given me when I started out. How is this series going to work? First, I don't know about you, but I have a really short attention span. And these videos are on social media, YouTube, etc. So similar to my FAQ series, hopefully you've seen that, I'm going to keep it short, like under 2 minutes short if I can. Each week I'm going to record and release a new segment that builds on the previous week's content, but each segment can stand on its own as a hopefully valuable piece of information. So are you ready to begin? All right, let's go. Oh wait, I've already burnt up my 2 minutes, so you're going to have to wait till next week. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons so you'll be notified each time we release a new segment, and we'll see you next time.
So thank you for that, Garrett. And remember that that's Garrett Wong, Upper Edge Property Management on YouTube. And now, if you were here last month, you might remember that we did an entire month's meeting devoted to mindset. And it was so well received that we're actually going to pop in a Mindset Minute now every month. And so this particular Mindset Minute is a carryover from last month. Just a chance to stop and not get too philosophical, but remember that what you're already doing right now, every day, you're already giving your life to do that. So it's important that you make it count. If you want to have a successful life, all you need to do is have a series of very successful days. It's nothing complicated. It's not rocket science. It's not the number of actions or things that you do every day, but it's the efficiency with which you do each of them. We talked about this last month. It was one of the most important things to getting things done, to having that successful, efficient life. Make a list of 6 things before you go to bed tonight. Then you prioritize them in order from 1 to 6. Tomorrow, when you get up, you do number 1 and you do it to completion before you move on to the second thing on the list. And in doing so, you will take care of those most important priorities in your life, because making that decision will remove the doubt. It will remove the fear, it will take away the worry, and it will bring order to your life. The law of cause and effect guarantees success if you do that. So now we're going to turn it over to Mr. Chris Mckenzie for this month's presentation.
Take it away, Chris.
And Chris, I think you're muted right now.
There we go. Is that better?
There
That's
you
better.
go.
Lovely,
Okay.
lovely. Thanks so much, guys. Hey, I've been enjoying this presentation. It's been fun. Vern, a couple things. It's just fun to say your name, Vern Coot Bird. So I'm going to keep going on with that. But
Sure.
you mentioned your marathon and getting married on the run. I have to congratulate you because I probably would have kept going. That's how scared I was to get married the first time. I would have gone all the way to the end of the 10-kilometer run and called it a day. And thanks for the introductions. I appreciate it. I am very new to this team and this academy. Very proud to be a part of it, but very new. So I'm going to go off a little bit today about a topic that for some is a whole new language, and for some people it's a natural extension in the world. But to tell you a little bit about myself, I cut my teeth on residential real estate, just like probably everybody else in the room. And my wife and I owned a few properties, and we sold them and got hooked eventually on commercial. And when I say commercial, we'll do a few definitions tonight. And I just want to qualify too. When I said deep dive into this commercial, 15 minutes doesn't allow you to deep dive into anything. What I will dive into over the next 12 months is the commercial industry, especially as I pluck things out of our manual that I know Valen and the team have put or helped me put together. But what I really wanted to do today was introduce myself, introduce you to the idea of commercial. And I got to be quite frank, I'd like to talk everybody out there into getting into commercial real estate and complementing your portfolio to that capacity. And quite often there are some things about commercial real estate that sometimes create fear, sometimes create a lot of questions, sometimes confusion. And I personally have found being in commercial real estate actually easier than being in residential. And before we opened today, there was a conversation with some people and landlords and dealing with the tenants that they were dealing with and the challenges. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how those challenges don't often exist in the commercial space. In fact, they rarely enter this space. So it's something to discuss, but also typically, when I talk to people about commercial real estate, the idea of how expensive it could be. And yes, it does cost more. There are closing costs in a commercial real estate deal are drastically higher. And I'm not going to be candy coating anything today. I'm going to be very transparent. I believe everyone should have their own little strip mall with their 5 tenants, 6 tenants at this point in time, along and as a complement to your residential piece, because that's critical as well. But if you're already buying residential, I'm here to tell you, you're 90% there on commercial. And when we used to train people for the Real Estate Investment Network, every audience was residential, considering how to go to the commercial space. And by the way, I can't even spell residential, so just hear me out when I talk about the commercial. The idea of all these extra costs, all this extra investment, I have to agree with you. It can be intimidating. It can be tiring. But what I'm here to tell you is once you've got your first building, not unlike your first investment, the next one gets easier and the next one gets easier. And we personally found that financing a commercial building, a little strip mall, you name it, that the landlords and the ownership of that typically get things like a VTV, or they understand carrying, or they can understand that language, and they know that it's cheaper tax-wise to get paid over a 5-year period on a buyout from a building than it is to get all your money up once. There's a whole bunch of tax strategies there that our accounting folks can tell us about. But today, what I wanted to do was talk about the 3 key features in commercial real estate, and then talk a little bit about my philosophy, and then take questions if there's time at the end, absolutely. But I do want to qualify the deep dive that we're talking about is over the next 12 months. I've committed to Valen and team that we would go through this. The manual speaks to everything I'm talking about today. And so I really wanted to emphasize that I'm literally taking stuff out of the manual that I wrote with my partner. We wrote it 10 years ago. We've updated it since then. And that manual really is the key to the next stage of what we're talking about. So I've got a list of things I want to go through. So if we want to go to the next slide, Keith, that would be great. The first thing everyone asks me, what is commercial? And the way I've always defined it, which is not in the books, it's not anywhere else, is who is your tenant? And multifamily is all obviously considered commercial, simply because a multifamily building, and I'm talking 4 units or better, not unlike the property Vishal went through last week as commercial. But if you have a person living in a property with you that you have, that's residential. If you have a business that's leased out some property from you, that's commercial. So I'm not really focused on zoning, not really focused on whether it's a big commercial that you can back a truck up to. I'm focused on 4, maybe 6 apartment complex, residential and larger. And I come at it from the standpoint of, if you were going to finance that building, what would the bank look at it as? And so when you get into 6 plexes, 8 plexes, they're going to go, well, wait a minute here. This isn't a residential. This is actually a revenue generating building. So that's how I define it as commercial. But on a strip mall, as an example, if you have a Starbucks on one end and you got a Petro-Canada on the other, those are businesses that have given their personal guarantees to you. So they really don't fall under that residential. And that's how I try to separate it. I know in Manitoba, the zoning is a bit different from what I'm used to out here in Alberta, but I really want to emphasize who is your tenant. And if they're going to be a couple of people renting and a family renting on one side and the other, it may be 2 sides, and maybe even 4. That's still a residential property. But once you get up to the 6 and 8, the banks look at it differently. And I'm putting my lender hat on versus my investor hat at this point in time. But that's how I see that. And I think 90% of everyone on this program is looking at those kinds of 4 plexes, or maybe even 6 plexes, whatever the case may be. And I used this story from Vishal last week. There was only one heating source for the 4 units. And to me, he was looking at cap rate. He was looking at another way to assess the property. So in the back of my mind, I resonated because I'm going, no, that's how I look at it from a commercial standpoint. So, from that, that's how I'm going to define commercial. So while it still is multifamily and it is tenants living inside it, they still fall under commercial. But on the commercial strip malls, you're leasing that to a business, and that's where the guarantees come into place, which we'll talk about in a few more minutes. Go ahead, please, Keith. Sorry, I'm on my phone right now. I was down south with a fella named Keith Cunningham. I don't know if you guys know him. He was one of the advisors to Kiyosaki and Tony Robbins and a few others, just about how businesses run. He was one of the first people to actually have a cable not a cable company, but let's just call it a cable company in the United States many years ago. And he ended up being a coach. And he invited me to fly down to Austin, Texas, which I did with my partner and I. And we went down there for 3 days, and it was called Numbers Don't Lie. And this is at a time when Enron was getting smacked around. And we were down there for 3 days, and forgive me for the accounting people in the room, but it was simply the most boring accounting program I've ever seen in my life. It was taking the numbers of a building, of your real estate portfolio, and mashing it in and extracting everything you need to do to measure the metrics to know if it's a good deal. So we were down there from, by the way, it was raining and almost snowing in Austin. So this is not like it was a vacation. So we were down there Friday night we trained from 12 to 8 p.m., Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, the exact same time. And it was this accounting program looking at all the metrics that you would use on any commercial or any real estate portfolio. It doesn't really matter. So on day 3, bored out of my tree, I went, this is really a waste of my time. It's $2,500. Keith was a wonderful teacher. He didn't have any guest speakers. We're in a hotel room at desks. And I'm wondering, what is the point of this entire conversation? And he literally said to me at the end, he said, or not to me, the audience, he said, now that we're done with all the math, please don't think for a moment you're in the real estate business. And there's 100 people in the room. A couple of guys own 300 doors through Texas and Dallas and various cases. And he said, you're in the people business. And I've really taken that to heart. Any time you buy a home that's got a revenue generation to it. If you buy a commercial building that's got 400 tenants, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're in the people business. You simply trade in the real estate business, and the service you provide for those people is what's critical. And if there's any message I would pass to anyone looking at commercial real estate is, don't think for a moment you're in the real estate business. You're in the people business. How do you satisfy those tenants? How do you make them happy? How do you fulfill your obligations as a landlord, as an owner? When you do that, and when you step into the shoes of that tenant and step into the shoes of your other folks, you have actually bought a business, and you're running that business to suit your tenants, in which case is your customer, and the other people that surround you and your power team. I want to say that because in commercial, it happens out here in Alberta a lot. I've only tried to do one deal with you folks out in Winnipeg, and it happens so much that the owners of the building look at the metrics, which is critical. And please, I'm not taking away from that, but they forget that someone has to write a check to you every month, and oftentimes it's their personal guarantees, and oftentimes it's more than that. It's their business, their livelihood. If you can look at it as, okay, I'm in the people business, I've just bought a business because it's revenue generating, and I'm going to treat it like a business, it will resonate with your tenant because they'll see it. We have a couple buildings that we bought that we simply did lipstick work to, just lipstick, nothing major. And because of commercial, and we're going to emphasize this point here in a few more slides, we have discretion. If I want to add an extra $500 a month to their rent, when their rent period is done, I get to do so. There's no controls. But who would actually double or triple their rent if they didn't feel like they were being appreciated in that particular business model? And a little bit of lipstick and a little bit of love and care. And it's amazing how in a commercial space, you can increase the revenues like you wouldn't believe, and not insult your customer, not frustrate them, not change their business model. So that's one of the points I wanted to get across today with regards to that. And I know I've seen some of the courses already with teammate. I know the ethics, the quality that the teammate investors and coaches do. And I know they want to take care of their tenants, but that is never the case 100% of the time in commercial. That's what it's like in Alberta. And especially if it's an old couple or an old people who don't want to fix the building up, you find lack of care and dedication to the quality of the building and the maintenance to be a big problem. But guess what? That's the opportunity. That's a huge opportunity. Next slide, my friend. So there's a few differences here with regards to commercial real estate. The biggest one that people fall into is it's going to require more money and a lot more effort. That isn't necessarily the case. What we have found is once somebody gets into the investing space, the raising of capital for a commercial building, if you can put a pitch deck together to go raise that capital, I would suspect, and we've done it quite a few times, let's just use $1 million and you need 30% down. That 30% investor on a commercial space that can see a deck sheet and an actual pro forma that the building is currently using right now, that $300,000 I found easier than getting the $60,000 to put down on a duplex. By the way, out here in Alberta, there's no duplexes less than $400,000. So I'm quite jealous of the Winnipeg pricing model. I really want to emphasize that you can get those partners, find 5 dentists that are doing really well, have them pool their capital, follow the securities rules in the province, and you'll find very quickly that they're more than willing to share the capital. But it may be bigger and it may be larger, and there's a few more moving parts. But because of what teammates already teach in their students, I'd like to say it's rocket science to go to commercial, but it really, really is not. And in fact, once you have a manager in place and once you've decided what you want to do as far as owning and whatever capital that you want to take back, whether it's mortgage pay down, whether it's you want to be your only manager, whatever the case may be, you'll find very quickly that investors gravitate to commercial because they can walk down the street, they can look at that Starbucks on one side, they can look at that mom and pop store on the other side and go, oh, okay. And those tenants make sense to me. And I can relate to that. And so we, for a long time, were able to pair up some very wealthy people who do not want to spend the time and the time to get educated like you folks are. They're happy to do it themselves. They're more than happy to do it themselves. So please don't let size make a difference. Some of the pictures I'm showing in this presentation, I know they look like sophisticated buildings, but all of them are about 2 stories and they're only about 5 tenants deep. And you can pick one up for $2-3 million. So really, at the end of the day, I just got a really funny text from somebody, so I'm not going to mention it right now. But let's put it this way: I would not worry about a $5 or $10 million purchase price if you can build the team to put that together. So that's the first thing. Next slide, Keith. Power and control. I mean this literally. The ability to control your destiny in commercial is much stronger than residential. Here in Alberta, and I will use Alberta for now because I don't know your residential laws in Manitoba. Here in Alberta, there's been very few rent controls for residential, but the tenants rule the roost. If you have a tenant that decides that you as a landlord aren't following rules, guidelines, whatever the case may be, you'll find yourself going to court, and the courts love to side with the tenants. Again, I don't know about Manitoba. With commercial, quite the opposite. You can raise those rents. I wouldn't go past market at the time. You can control the building with all of the costs that are associated with it. And in a slide later, we'll talk about, I think many of you have heard the word triple net, which means the tenants pay for everything except your mortgage payments. Literally, that's pretty standard. Even if there's a vacancy, it's pretty standard to have personal guarantees and to be able to continue to collect, even with a vacancy. It's not difficult at all. That requires a little more paperwork up front. I have to grant everyone that. Simultaneously, you do have that opportunity to write 5 and 10 year leases versus a month to month or say a year lease. So that gives you a great opportunity to normalize the building, to use cash flow to improve the building. And again, power control, at the end of the day, ordinary tenants who don't pay their rent, you're more than welcome to have them move out, but you still got their guarantees and you can exact that if you want to. I know that sounds, I don't want to make it sound like you want to take advantage of businesses who can't pay the rent. That by no means am I implying that. What I am being explicit about is you do have a lot more control of those particular leases and that income. So if your space goes vacant for 4 months and you can still collect on the personal guarantees, you've got a chance to then exact a new tenant and put them inside there. And have that tenant also guarantee the rents as well. Next one, please. Kind of touched on this already, longer leases and low turnover. The leases average 5 years. You can get as much as 10 and 20 years. Here in Calgary, Starbucks will sign a 20-year lease all day. I'm assuming they're doing the same thing in Winnipeg. I don't think it's any different. And those leases aren't any more complicated than leases you folks are currently doing for that tenant who lives downstairs in the basement. There's just a little more teeth inside that particular lease, if you will. The same time, you will have to hire management. I don't know what the rules are in Winnipeg, but here in Alberta under RECA, if you're taking a fee for managing, you do have to hire somebody. So agreed, the turnover is lower, like you do have to put a little more time in. But at the same time, there's this thing called, if you love your tenant, and I'm talking about the commercial tenant, your tenant will love their lease payment. It just works that way. If you treat them like dirt, they're going to do everything they can to scuttlebutt any payments they need to make you, especially on a triple net when they get a bill at the end of the year for the additional water they've used, electricity, you name it. So that really does help you plan your future and your wealth on knowing that at the end of the year, you're not going to be out of pocket. Even if there's a vacancy, you won't be out of pocket, notwithstanding some other goofiness that happens. So to me, I like the idea of the larger leases. And lawyers can write this up just as well as they can write up all of the other efficiencies that go with a residential program. But today I really wanted to come up with some reason, I guess, to debate the reasons that some people are afraid of commercial. And the last one, my friend. Costs passed to the tenant. I've listed them there. These costs all go to the tenant, and it's not a stretch to do so by any. In fact, most tenants expect they're covering all the costs that go with that, especially for a brand new roof, especially if they want to demise walls. And they're prepared to pay to improve the building for tenant improvements. They're prepared to add that to their lease agreement so that they can have a little more space, so they can have a washroom in a space. They pay for that. If a residential tenant decides they want to add a bathroom, they're going to come to you and go, well, I guess I'm paying the $3,500 to put a new bathroom in, or whatever the case may be. Of course, you can't pass mortgage payments to the tenant, but at the same time, what you can pass to them on a triple net basis, or even a net basis, which we can go into another day, it makes it. Let's put it this way: I've owned residential and I've owned commercial, and I would go past the residential for no better reason than the smooth running of a commercial business. A commercial piece. Once it's normalized, once you've been in there for a while, once your tenants have been in there, it runs very smoothly, of course, with a property manager in place. But those are really the biggest things that I think separate commercial from residential, and why they complement your portfolio. They won't distract from your portfolio. They'll actually complement your portfolio. And that's really the kind of the message I wanted to get out tonight to the team for the first time is I wouldn't be afraid of it. If you need counsel, please give me a call. By the way, this information is in the manual that Teammate has, and they're distributing it right now. I know what the pricing is going to be, but along with the coaching program, guys, I got to tell you, I had someone once tell me that the 25, and this is when I used to do it back then. I'm back at it now, but a long time ago, we were charging $10,000 for a weekend, and someone once said $10,000 for commercial coaching and buying. Yeah, but it's going to cost you $45,000 for your MBA that you're never going to use for the rest of your life. So when you bring it back to what the true costs are, it's not a cost. It's an investment, especially if people bury themselves into it. And there's my pitch. I think anyone who says it's too much money, yet I know people who've got MBAs that are still working at McDonald's, and I'm not slighting McDonald's workers, by the way. But that's just the truth of our society. So to me, Teammate, it's an investment. It's not a cost center. It's an investment center. And that's all I have to say about that. So that's really it. Keith, I think I'm all done. You can show my mug again and do what you got to do.
Thanks, Chris. I was like, I don't know where you got your MBA, but mine cost me $100,000. So
there you go. Fantastic.
Yeah. But at least I'm not working at McDonald's. So yeah. And we'll turn things back over to the MC for the evening, Mr. Vern. Vern, you're muted there, sir.
Unmute that. Okay, thank you very much, Chris. That was great. And you're right about things. You know, the strategies are quite often the same, just some different obligations from our tenants, and much better ones, I must say. And just like you know, I've been involved with that, and even the commercial courses and teaching people commercial over my lifetime in different parts of United States and Canada here. And I've been involved with single family homes, multiple families, motels, hotels. I'm from Selkirk, actually. Was involved in the hotel business there for quite some time. Anyways, why do some people win and some people don't? You know, I've seen people come into this business and I've seen them do nothing. I've also seen them come into this business, like some of the people you're going to hear about in the next short little while here, come in the business and in 2 weeks get their first rental property, and in 2 months get their first buy, repair, refinance, and rent out and get it done. And these are anywhere from people in their 20s to people in their 60s. There's many of our proteges will tell you the best time to start doing this was yesterday. And you're going to see that. Now, what do they have in common when they win? You're going to hear some stories tonight about some of the successes that we have with our students, our proteges, and you will see, you will feel why they're successful. They hustle, and they are committed to changing their financial destiny for their entire family for generations to come. They're committed to that. They're committed to success. They consistently take action, the same actions over and over and over. And they get themselves the education that they need. Earlier in our program, you saw a young weightlifter. She got the training and the coaching and the mentoring that she needed. Many of you know that when I got into movies many years ago, after I retired at age 60 and I'm 70 now, you know that I took coaching and mentoring to become a better actor. I also took coaching and mentoring to learn about real estate investing at the age of 19. And I've been involved in 9 different states in Manitoba, off and on ever since. You need the education. Here at the Academy, we have several different coaching packages, whatever can fit your budget and whatever it is that you desire to learn about residential real estate, all aspects of it from start to finish, looking at properties, accepting the offer, right through the due diligence process, the renovation process, right down to the point of here's your keys, sell it or rent it. You will get coaching and mentoring. We have temporary learning, kind of like grade school. We have the BA and the silver lifetime packages, the masters in the gold, and the PhD in the platinum. Now, one thing that differs from our academy and everybody else is we go through everything with you. Okay, so are we going to put up the coaching? What's our next slide? Sorry, I lost my brochure. Okay, thanks. This is what we show you when you start with us. We show you how to find deals. It's easy to find deals on the MLS, and so does everybody else in the business look at them. But we show you how to find private deals. We teach you how to find funding partners to get the deal done, funds for your down payment, credit for the mortgage, funds for the renovation money. We teach you how to negotiate and get the right price that you need, and how to write the offer, how to get the money in place, how to manage your entire rental from start to finish. And we introduce you to everybody you're going to need to do the project from start to finish, whether it be a realtor, financial brokers, tradespeople. Between us, the coaches, and the academy, you have access to somewhere between 600 and 700 active construction, real estate construction workers, renovators here in Winnipeg, painters, carpenters, flooring, whatever you need. Plus our academy gets discounts all over the city. We teach you how to manage the business of being the landlord and dealing with tenants, all that stuff. We teach you how to sell it if you want to sell it. If you want to do buy, fix, flip, how to refinance it. If you want to do the buy, repair, refinance, and rent out, the BRRRR model. We invite you to do joint ventures together with yourselves, your coaches, the academy. We teach you how to open an operational company, a hold company, anything you need to minimize taxes legally. And we teach you how to maximize the leverage. This is a big one, guys. Maximize the leverage, whether it be the dollars you have on hand or the dollars that people are investing with you. We teach you how to maximize that and leverage it, as well as leveraging your time. We teach you how to systemize everything right from start to finish. Even properties we've looked at a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago, they're still in our system so that we can see what happened then if that property comes up again, or perhaps the seller didn't sell it. A year later, we're the only one looking at it. We can help you to develop a generational income of retirement income, of rental income, and set the goal for you to retire from your job. That's what we do. Does it cost money? Yes, it costs a little bit of money. Not as much as your master's degree and not as much as your PhD at the universities, but it does cost a little bit. Will you have to work? Yes. We're going to drag you off the couch and get you out there looking at properties, analyzing, and systemizing every aspect of real estate investing, every aspect of it. So we're going to get you out of your comfort zone. Will you get your first deal done? Absolutely. Absolutely. And we don't stop there. We don't stop there. You're going to see some results tonight of people in their first year and what they've done with us. And it's a lot more than one deal. Okay. We're looking for people that want to take action. We're looking for people that will put aside 1 hour a day. That's what we're looking for. 1 hour a day. That's 7 hours a week, 4 days a month, or 52 extra days in your year. That's like adding 2 months to your work life. We want you to be looking at a property every single week, analyzing it, seeing if it fits, buy and hold, buy and flip, buy, fix, flip, or buy, repair, refinance, and rent out. We go through all of that with you. We want you to be making 1 offer a month and doing at least 1 deal every year, at least. And if you think about this, I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to let Nelson do his student successes there next. Okay, I just wanted to add this just before we jump to that one. Think about this. If you added 1 income property to your life every single year, in 10 years, you have 10. In 20 years, you have 20. To begin with, you might be fortunate enough to be getting $400 to $500 positive cash flow every month. 10 years from now, even at today's rates, that's $4,000 to $5,000 a month with 10. 8,000 to 10,000 with 20. That's at today's prices. If nothing gets paid down and rent stayed the same, that's still a nice pension. But property values, principal, interest gets paid down, taxes, insurance, that all stays the same. But 20 years from now, 20 properties free and clear, that's $1,000 a month. Now you're looking at $20,000 a month. There's your pension, people. That's the pension to look for. Nelson, would you like to share your student success stories with us?
Sure, I'm happy to jump in here. Thanks, Vern. And really just want to take a minute first to say thanks to Chris for coming out and joining us tonight. For everything you shared, Chris. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better and connecting with you. We're honored to have you here with us at Tmr Real Estate. And I also want to just thank you for taking the time to kind of unpack the introduction to commercial real estate tonight, because I think it's almost like a little bit intimidating for some people to hear that. And I think you really hit on some of those important points that do intimidate people from the commercial side. So you really did a great job of unpacking it and introducing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, it was great having you. And we're just looking forward to having more and more as you bring that to the team.
Yep.
I also want to take a minute to just underline as well what Vern said there about real estate changing your life. I wrote a book called How to Become a Millionaire, How Anyone Can Become a Millionaire in 5 Years Through Real Estate. It's called Money Tree. And really, that book itself is it's written on a simple process and system of taking action. And Vern talked a little bit about that success earlier. And really, that's what we like to see at Tmr Real Estate, is seeing our students have the success that they want. They're wanting to see their lives change. And I think, I really hope everybody that's here joining us tonight recognizes that there's going to be a lot of changes happening in our world, in our country coming up. We're coming out of just an unprecedented time with the pandemic, something we only see every 100 years. And there's going to be a huge wealth transfer that is happening now and will continue to happen. And there's going to be people on the winning side and people that aren't on the winning side. And I would really encourage each and every one of you to really think about how you want to position yourself coming out of this. When you're surfing, there's a wave that's coming towards you. You see the wave coming, and you kind of have to make a choice at that point. Am I going to ride this wave, or am I going to go under the wave? And we just want to see people succeed. So that brings us to, you know, the success stories that we love to share at Teammade Real Estate. These two individuals here, Justin and Jeremy, are dear friends of mine, and they just did amazing. They hit the ground running. They are busy guys. So if you say, you know, I'd love to get into real estate, Nelson, but I'm really busy. I understand you're busy. I grew my portfolio, have over 40, closer to 50 apartments now. And I did it working a full-time job at the time, we were having kids. My wife and I have 3 wonderful children, and I understand you're busy. We're all busy, but we take time to do what's important in life. And these two guys are very busy and took the time to take action in real estate. So in 7 months, they did 7 units. And today I'm just going to tell you about the first 2 that they did. They're standing there in front of a bungalow that they bought in Windsor Park, just an outstanding building that they purchased. And it was pretty bad when they got it. They purchased it for $180,000. Daryl's probably going to fall off his rocker hearing that $180,000 bungalow in Windsor Park. But they got a great lead on that property, closed on the property, did a great job renovating it, had a family pre-rent it. They had it rented before they even completed the renovation. And on the ARV side, it's you know, twice the value of what they paid for it. So they did an amazing job creating equity in the property, and they're going to be able to turn that around by pulling out all that equity of the property to be able to use in other acquisitions. So they did exceptionally well with that. Really proud of them. And before this deal, they actually bought a $75,000 duplex. Yes, you guys read that correctly and heard that correctly. They bought a duplex for $75,000, full renovation. Keith can't believe it. Mind's blown. And they did, you know, but a $75,000, they had to evict someone who was squatting in the garage. You have to understand that was taking place. But the renovation is almost done there. Looking forward to showing you guys some photos of that. They did an exceptional job on that renovation. And again, the ARV is in this case 4 times what the purchase price was. And they did put a significant amount of investment in it, but they're still going to be able to pull out a huge amount of capital on the other side and leap forward with that capital into their next deal. So they're hoping to put together an enormous amount of deals in 2021. We're going to hear about some other success stories coming up, but this is just a couple of them. Next month, when we get together, we'll be telling you about the triplex that they bought too. And then we'll give you more details on that. But these guys are on fire because they're taking action, and they've made a commitment to do something different and get outside of their comfort zone. So great job, Justin and Jeremy. Super proud of you guys.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, we've got a little story here. This is one of my proteges. Very proud to be working with Ryan. He bought his first rental property, triplex, for $214,000. And after ARV on it is in excess of 300. And he's so happy to get this. This is his first property. In fact, he's online with us tonight and made a comment about some of those things. Ryan is one of our proteges. I don't know if we have another slide there with the other names on it. Oh, yes. Oh, good. Okay. I'll just do them one at a time, then I'll finish with Ryan first. Ryan and 2 of our other proteges in one day, about 10, 11 days ago, the 3 of them bought $1 million in real estate in one day. That's just 3 members of our team. They're very, very active. Next one is Alex.
That one was an off-market deal. So that's what Ryan was really aggressive in how he found that one. He used a lot of tricks and techniques to find these off-market deals because, as Daryl said, the market got hot and heated. So it changed a little of our strategies there.
Yeah, when we switched, he just went with it right away and found this. That was great, Ryan. Thank you. Next one is Alex and Anita Prudnikow. Been working with them for about a year. And they've also picked up another rental property on the same day that Ryan did. Okay, and good luck to them. They're already got the estimates in and getting ready to start renovating. I think possession for them is March 16th. I didn't get Ryan's possession date yet. Okay, next one. Who we got here? It should be Winnie Doan coming. Oh, Winnie's on this one right there too. Okay, she picked up a beautiful, beautiful rental property in Wolseley, actually, where I used to live. Very, very nice. It just really, really did our hearts so good to see our young prodigies and $1 million in real estate in one day. That's nice. Next slide, please. Thank you. Thanks, Keith. Okay. This is Leslie Stanley, Investor of the Month for January 2021. Her first 13 months with us. So proud of this protege. In 13 months, flipped 5 properties, her and her husband, Dan. Now Dan is retired as well. And this is a lady that within an hour of possession, she has her crews in the house renovating. That's how it's done. That's why she's Investor of the Month. Next slide. Okay, Investor of the Month, is that this month?
Yep, that's February of this year.
Okay.
Our current
Nelson,
Investor of the Month.
Yeah, Nelson, would you like to do this one?
Sure. So we just want to take a minute to honor Chibazor. We spoke about him last week and the great deal that he had done. So Chibazor, what he had done, he had put together 2 deals and decided he did what a dual closing. So he closed 2 deals at the same time. Now, to be in all fairness, we have to talk about how one of the deals, things fell apart near the end of the deal. But what's important is the strategy that he used when he is putting together these 2 deals simultaneously. He was able to leverage the same down payment that he had in season money for more than 1 down payment in 2 different deals. And I think what's important in the market we're in, guys, when we look through Winnipeg, we look through the way things are right now in the market, is you have to be incredibly creative. And I think that, Daryl talked about it tonight. Vern talked about it. We need to do different things. When we see houses on the market that are getting 14, 15, there was even one house last week, one of my friends who's a real estate agent told me 45 offers on one house. We're in a seller's market right now. And so when you can put together 2 deals at the same time and recognize that there's value in putting them both together, there's a huge amount to win there. So Chibazor is a very experienced investor. He's been working with rent to own for a period, or with Airbnb for a period of time, very skilled in that area. And he's creating something different for his family. And that's what we love to see our students do, is create something different. To create the financial freedom that they want and independence. So getting to a place where they can separate from having to rely on a job or a paycheck and realize that they can live by their own means by providing a great service, if it's in the case of renting, and offering great places for people to live. So in the top photo here where Chibazor is standing, he already has a family that's moving in there. The renovation was complete, possession, renovated, and rented out in 1 month. So he did an amazing job. Really proud of all the work that he did and the negotiations that he put forward. And these are all skills that he learned and then that he applied. And I think that's the most important, is when we learn something in life and we apply it, that's where the power comes from, is the application of what we've learned. So congratulations to Chibazor. We're going to get you the trophy this month so that you can have that for the next month. And really proud of everything that you've completed. Good for you, Chibazor.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Thank you very much. Okay, there's all of our contact information, emails. That'll be up there for a little bit. One of the things that just came to mind, just in the discussion that was going on. Yes, a lot of offers on all types of single family homes out there. A lot of offers every time we write offers. This is why the Bird 2-for-1 mentor team switched to duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, any small apartment blocks, Class D, Class C, anything like that. Guys, when we're looking at those triplexes, fourplexes, nobody else is writing an offer. I kid you not, people. Nobody else. The competition is after single family homes. That's why we switched. And that's why we bought $1 million of property in one day. No other offers. That's the market we're in. Now, we're going to have, we'll leave this up here, this information here, just what you're going to do with the rest of the year and make this different. Those of you that are online with us for the very first time, okay, you know you need to do something different. You've had an interest in this for some time now. You know you need to change what you're doing. And I see people in their 20s, their 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s. And then they realize that what they were doing did not get them where they want to be. So think about that. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? Learn something new. And I ask you, even our members that are online now, did COVID happen to you? Or did it happen for you? So you could add in another skill. Make a decision, book a strategy session with us. Be 30, 40 minutes. You'll know what you're looking at. And our next meeting is March 29th, and it'll be with Michael Reimer of Vulcan Construction will be our guest speaker for the night. And Keith, if you could put the emails back up.
The emails will be back at the end of the presentation.
Oh, okay. This is
During
a
the
picture
Q&A.
of our family of coaches that have been with us over the years. You can see all of the coaches that are currently online. You'll see them here. Okay. And what we're going to find, we've got a few questions, and we're going to open the floor just for questions and answers.
Hang on a second, Vern. You're a little ahead of yourself there.
Sorry.
There's a Q&A slide.
Yeah.
But before we get to that,
Thank you.
we've got a couple of things with TeamMade here that we want to announce. We have 2 new courses. The one that Chris has already been talking about. And we also have a new residential investing secrets online version of a course.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a course that actually I've just finished completing based on all of the fundamental materials that we have with Tmr Academy. It's going to be up on our website, and it currently right now can be purchased and sent out via USB. It's fully interactive lessons done with industry subject matters, all of the coaches here that you saw on that last slide, serving as your personal guide to take you through virtual training modules. We will be having it on our website, and so it will be a web-based system as well, accessible anytime on any device. And the training can be from home, office, or pretty much anywhere, even that beach that Vishal is sitting on right now.
Yeah.
You will be able to learn at your own pace online. And we know that real estate investing, and when you're starting out, can seem overwhelming. So we made it simpler by putting together this online training. Imagine if you were able to learn everything you need to know about real estate and get it up and running as quick as possible. And then imagine being able to take that training with you wherever you go, on your laptop, on your phone, on your tablet. And the online training platform works with all of these and helps you learn when and where it's convenient. It will have virtual interactivity. The uniquely designed testing mechanisms allow you to actively participate and engage during the training to ensure you retain as much knowledge as possible from each module. So if you just read it, you don't retain as much as if you watch a video, listen to an audio, read course material, then write things out, take notes by hand. It will have an easy to use interface. The simple to use web-based platform will make it straightforward and simple for everyone to learn. You don't need to be a tech superstar like me to use the system. Simply log in and you'll be able to start your training with a few mouse clicks. And it has built-in accountability. So we know that accountability is a staple of having a successful learning environment. So unlike other platforms, you'll be able to track, measure, and monitor your progress to see how you're doing and make sure you achieve that success. And that is now available for $49.95. And then Chris, if you wanted to talk a little bit about our new course in the commercial investing secrets. in beta form. So get it while you can in the beta price, because it will be going up once the course comes out of beta.
Yeah, the manual itself is self-explanatory. It is literally, I'll walk you through everything from leases, how to write a lease, copies of leases, an APOD, which is an annual property operating data form, all of my old lending commitment letters, what you're going to see, what you're not going to see. I wrote all of those with my wife and legal counsel. And that thing, you can actually deploy a strategy on commercial just with the manual alone. I highly recommend some mentorship and some counsel that goes with that. But literally, you can read that and walk into a apartment building, you name it, with education and strength and power, and know exactly what you're talking about. And it doesn't matter what province you're in, doesn't matter what state you're in. It literally is kind of ready for you. I'm very proud of that, and I helped coin that with my partner. And I don't know what else to say. I don't think we have much more detail on a commercial course in the entire rest of the world than in that program. I don't think you'll find more detail than that program.
Yeah, it's a tremendous program. So thank you very much, Chris, and thank you for your presentation tonight.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I agree with you so totally, Chris. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess this is back to me, is it? Okay.
Back to Vern.
Join us on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on Zoom. If you don't get a Zoom link to that, text Vishal or myself or Keith. We are the Bird 2-for-1 coach mentor team. And every Tuesday night, we analyze live deals. Plus, we have a coaches panel, full discussion. Everybody can talk and ask questions and interact with us. So specialized real estate training workshops with myself, Vern Bird, and my partner Vishal and Keith Gordon. Plus, we also do Saturday sessions at 10:30, where we do the modular training for brand new student proteges starting with us. And if we have nobody new for that day, then we go right into analyzing properties as well. Whether we're doing single family or commercial properties, really has no never mind to us. Whatever our attendees want to look at. And if some of you want us to analyze a property for you, we'll do it live right in front of you, right on Zoom. And we'll show you how it would affect your financial destiny over the next 10, 20, 30 years. And we can show you that in 15 minutes. That's what we do. And it's just to illustrate what you can do for yourself. That's all we're doing, is using the tools in the coaching kits. That's all we're doing, and illustrating how it can change for you. So some questions and answers. We did, I just want to come back to Nelson. He made a comment earlier about the 13% on natural appreciation. Nelson, do you want to put in your comments there that you had written down? Do you want to speak on them for a moment?
Sure, yeah. So it was our good friend Daryl Walsh who was talking about how the market had gone up by 13.5% year over year for January. And so, you know, on $100,000, that would be $13,500. And then you just multiply that for every $100,000 value. We know that the average house is somewhere around $350,000. So then you're looking, you know, around $50,000 of natural appreciation. Guys, the greatest part about natural appreciation is that's your net worth growing every single year, right? That's your wealth backpack that's growing every single year. And that money, believe it or not, is not taxable until you sell something, right? And if you do proper corporate structuring, you set your share structure up in a good way, you can find out how to transfer that wealth in an intergenerational fashion to your kids by ensuring that you do it in a tax effective way. At the end of the day, it all comes down to taxation and the money that you keep. So the greatest part about that growth is that that's just one of several different pillars: natural appreciation. Forced appreciation is when you take a property that's kind of broken, you fix it up, make it nicer, and then the value increases significantly. So you heard us talk about ARV tonight a few times, the after repair value. So you may take a house you buy, like my students did, for 180,000, fix it up, and then it's worth 340,000 on the other side, right? So you just create another $70,000 or $100,000 of net worth into a building. So you have it appreciating by 50,000 a year. You put another 100,000 of forced appreciation into it. You've made 150,000 with that one building in 1 year. But wait, what else are you doing with that building in that year? You're renting it out. Just so happens they're renting out that bungalow for $2,200 a month. Well, $2,200 a month in a year, you're looking at well over 25,000. So we've got $100,000 of forced appreciation, 50,000 of natural appreciation, $25,000 of rent that we're collecting every year. What else is happening? Oh, the mortgage is being paid down. So you're going to add another $8,000 to $10,000 a year in that mortgage that's being paid down. Now we're up to, what are we up to? 185,000. Is that where we are in the math?
Yeah.
$185,000 we've created, plus amazing tax savings that you have through real estate. Guys, you didn't need to put all the money into it like the stock market. If you want to invest in stocks, you put $100,000 in to make money on 100,000. On real estate, you only put in 20,000 for that 100,000. You're leveraging a huge amount with the bank's money. So that's what I was trying to get at there, is just one property can make a significant difference in your lifestyle for now, in 1 year, but also in all of the coming years. Yeah. Right? Vern did a great job talking earlier about one property paying you $400 of cash flow a month. But what if you had 10? Yeah. And you were making $4,000 a month or 5,000? What if you had 20? Right? And so that's the power of real estate, of rental property, and thinking long-term wealth. So thanks for coming back to that, Vern. I think it was an important point for people to pick up on.
Very good. And I wanted you to amplify that. Thank you. Also, we had a question earlier, and maybe we'll start this one with Chris, because it's dealing with commercial real estate and how has the real estate market been impacted by COVID and business restrictions?
I think that's the question from Kevin, and thank you for that, because I do have to jump out of here. Okay. Without getting into it too much, and I'm happy to have another conversation outside of this. Yeah. Right now, and this is Alberta specifically, but you can't tell me it's any different in Manitoba, is there are a multitude of private lenders who are doing workouts right now because of commercial product, where the tenants are abandoning the space, they're abandoning their leases. And there is a huge opportunity right now to go ahead and write, when I say low ball, I mean low ball offers that just meet the first mortgages criterias to get themselves paid out. Mm-hmm. But the question is, who do I put in there? What a great question. I'm telling you, if you're an essential service, you label that as you see fit. They are fantastic. What is essential? I need to have coffee, and I need to have alcohol, and I need to have my movies, and I need to have my 7-Eleven. You go through what's currently open in Manitoba, and you guys have some of the toughest restrictions, tougher than what we're going through. You answer the question of who can I put in here, and you set their leases at a spot where it needs to be not market. You can go below market all day, but again, on a 5-year lease, you can move that to a 10-year lease, but you can do a step lease program, right? So we'll do 25 a square foot. Sorry, that's the wrong number. We'll do $10 a square foot for the first 5 years, then we'll do 15, then we'll do 20, on through and through. And one of the fears right now, people are going, wait a minute, if the building is inflicted with disaster, what do we do? Part of what I have done 100 times is mortgage workouts. So you go ahead, you write that offer, and you make it conditional to financing. Even if you got private financing at 10, 12%, I'm spitballing here, but you were able to put in the tenants that can write those 5-year leases, you could probably write an offer for 25 or 30% the true market value all day long, and the lender is going to say yes, because the owner isn't part of the picture anymore. So don't be afraid to, as you guys say, go to opportunities and knock on their doors and say, especially private lenders in Manitoba, there's a lot of mix out there, mortgage investment corporations, call them and say, hey, you got any opportunities for a workout? I'm more than willing to work with anybody to say, here's how we can do this. But we have to have the tenants identified in terms of essential services that we know we can put in there. And there's a boatload of them. So right now, a massage parlor doesn't cut it, but perhaps a small store does. It's not that tough to figure out. And then with the opportunity to buy lower, I'm telling you, just like residential, you normalize that building and you watch yourself grow on the natural, the force appreciation and all that goes with it. That's huge. $1 million building in Calgary right now, it's $1.5 million in 1 year, all day long. So never be afraid of who do I put in there. There's boatloads of tenants who are just waiting to get in there, but they don't want to come in at $20 a square foot. They want to come in at $15, maybe $12 a square foot. That's where we want to go.
Thank you. Okay. Now I'll add a little bit to that. What I've seen throughout the States is, and I expect a tremendous boom to come in commercial real estate, more so than single family homes. I do. Seeing it already. Foreclosures are on the upswing, and we're starting to see it here in Canada as well. Would you agree with that, Chris?
Yeah, not only do I agree with it, but I think now's the time to go picking the pockets of the borrowers right now who are going, I don't know how to get out of this. If you can be a problem solver now, Vern, you're exactly right.
Yeah. And we are solutionators. That's who we are. Okay. Any other questions from anybody?
Yeah,
No?
we had a question here that was asking, how do you determine or come up with the appropriate cap rates here in Manitoba?
Oh, yes. Did that person ever identify themselves? We had an anonymous here.
No, but that's okay.
Yeah. Vishal, you want to answer that one?
Sure.
Okay.
So when you're looking and doing your calculation for cap rates, there's a couple of things I just want to point out here for a few minutes. Whenever they're advertising cap rates on the MLS or someone's pitching you it's a 5 cap, 4 cap, make sure it's a real cap rate. What that means is your property management is in there, your vacancy is in there, and your maintenance is in there. A lot of times people will exclude those and tell you that's your cap rate. When you look at cap rate, of course you say higher is better. But when I look at cap rate, I see the higher the cap rate, the more risk there is. It's more of a trade-off when you're in the investing world. Risk to reward payoff. Risk is opportunity, absolutely. There's a trade-off there. In some parts of Winnipeg, specifically, we have cap rates in 15%. I can say that we may not be collecting rent every month at that 15% cap rate. Keep the smiling in there, I see that. But I think in other areas, we have lower cap rates, a 4.2, a 3. But there we have no turnover, less so we can budget in maintenance, and we get the rent every time. So it's more of a trade-off between reward. I would put out there that your area dictates your cap rates. So some areas are a 5, some are a 10, and they all can be found within Winnipeg. But it looks for the type of reward to risk trade-off you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. We do have one question from our learned realtor. Are our new courses free to existing students? I sent him a text on the chat that no, they're not free to existing students. However, I will point out that they are at this point only available to existing members.
The commercial is.
Yeah, the commercial is in a beta testing form only for our existing members, and the new online course for new students is available for new people joining. And our existing members don't need that because they've already got it. Correct, Keith? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, let me ask this question, Keith, myself. With the courses online now, can our existing members do a brush up with them? That might be a better question from Daryl. Can our existing members see the online course for residential? Or do we need to have a board meeting on that?
I was going to say that would probably be a question for our esteemed leader, Valen Vigera, who's also online here.
Okay. Well, we're kind of.
Could you hear me, everyone?
Yeah, we can hear you. I apologize if I put you on the spot and we didn't discuss
okay.
this beforehand.
It's okay. Yeah, so as far as that goes, when it comes to the current students, we're gonna obviously offer something that's advantageous for everyone for, of course, since it's a first launch. So we'll be doing that internally in our Telegram 24/7 support chat, and then I'll make note of that for everyone and do an announcement.
Okay, thank you, Valen. Thank you. There you have it, right from the president. I hope that helps you, Daryl. Okay. Anything else, Keith? I think we've covered everything.
That was everything. If there are no
Yeah.
more questions that have not come up in the chat box or the Q&A section,
No more questions.
thank you to everyone for coming, and thank you especially to Chris for his great talk on commercial this evening.
You're welcome, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Chris and Nelson and Vishal and Keith. Wonderful job as always. Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Thanks, guys. Bye for
Okay.
now.
Good night.
I guess I have to figure out a way to stop the meeting. So thank you, everyone.
Good
Bye
night.
now.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.